I see Lish. I see Helen.
Carol.
I see
Hi,
Nancy
Mary.
and Carol. It's Romper Room. Sonia and Pat.
Hello.
And
Hello.
Pia. It's like, and Donna.
Hi.
I see
Can you hear
Donna
me?
and Carol and Marilee and Sonia and Pat and Pia.
Helen. Nancy.
Hi, ladies.
Hi.
Hello.
Hello.
How are you?
Good.
I love looking at everybody and everybody's backgrounds.
Oh yeah.
Can
Oh, I
see
love the
them.
candles, Allison.
Are they going to set your hair on fire? I'm sure everyone's wondering. They look like they're eager.
Hi,
No,
Pia.
it's far enough that way.
Carol.
Yeah, look at it. Welcome, everybody.
Welcome,
Oh, I
welcome.
love seeing everyone. Now, about 20 people have, oh, here's Anita, have signed up to come on this call. So it's really exciting. We had such a lovely feedback from our first call, and new people are coming on. Like Donna, welcome. You weren't on the first one, and
No, I missed that one.
I know.
Yeah. Sorry, I didn't.
I'm just gonna wait a few more blips to see if anybody else is. Anita, I can see your name. I can't see your sweet face.
Allison,
Yeah.
while we're waiting for a couple minutes to see who else logs on, did you have any interesting dreams last night you can share with us, just for a little bit of chit chat?
Oh my God, I don't remember my dreams.
Really?
Okay, now I feel like I'm going to, did
Anything at all?
okay,
No.
but I feel like I'm on the spot now. I know I can't think of anything.
Yeah.
Do you want to ask me a question?
Oh no, I don't know if you did or not. I'm just I'm tickled with the question since it popped up.
I had, according to my Fitbit, I had great deep sleep though.
Oh, fascinating. Do you wear your Fitbit at night?
Yeah.
That's probably why you're not dreaming.
Really?
Hmm.
Okay. Hi, Maura.
Hi, Maura.
Hi, Andrea. This is so lovely. Okay, what time is it? 6:05. So shall we start?
Let's do it.
Yes.
Sure.
People will log on as they come. Anyway, welcome. We're so grateful for everybody across, like Thea, where are you now? Maine? Thea's in Maine, Helen's in BC. I think everybody else is in the GTA area. And for those of you who weren't on the last call, I'm going to give you a couple of housekeeping notes. If you notice, everyone is muted as you come on, and that's to kind of avoid feedback. But if you want to click on the bottom center of your screen to participants, that will bring up everybody who's on the side. And then you can, if you'd like to ask a question or say something, there is a raised hand icon at the bottom, and we will answer your question there. Or you can click on the chat icon and type in there, and I'll be able to see that. So welcome. I'm just looking at my notes here. I'm going to introduce everybody across the panel. Although, does everybody know who everybody is? So I'm Allison. And my business partner in crime is Deb.
Hello.
And then there's Catherine, give us a wave, and Susan from Conversation with Spirit.
Hi.
So what I wanted to do, aside from the housekeeping, is to thank everybody for who was on the first call for completing the survey. And I just want to kind of give you an overview of the results of the survey that we did. We asked people sort of, do we like this format? How often would you like to have a call? The duration of the call, the topics of the call. So essentially, the overarching sort of feedback was that anywhere from every 2 weeks to a month for a call, and a duration of about an hour and a half, which would give everybody an opportunity to share and get comfortable. Hi, Nancy. I didn't say hi. And then the content would be dealing with current situations in the pandemic and beyond, as well as how the Divine Destination Collection should and can and will move forward in this kind of brave new world. And then, which was really pleasing to us, was that a lot of you were very open to having this as a subscription-based offering. And Deb and I will kind of talk about that later on in the call. So I'm going to hand it over now. Hi, Laura Lee. To Deb to say a few words and to introduce the ladies.
Yeah. Hello, everybody.
With your
Lovely
mic
to
on.
have you on screen. It's so good to at least connect this way. Cheers. I'm enjoying a mimosa as we speak. I just wanted to, I didn't do this last week and I regret it, but I'm going to do it this week. So I guess it's just perfect. I met Catherine and Susan at the yoga studio a few weeks ago. And Allison and I talked about wanting to get a little more insight around what to do with Divine Destination Collection, what to go to the next level. So we had booked a session with these two lovely ladies to get some up close and personal help on how to take Divine into its future. And that very morning, I thought I was going to Las Vegas that night to see Rod Stewart for my cousin's 65th birthday.
Also say that it was Friday the 13th, my friend.
It was Friday the 13th. Yeah,
Friday
I was going to get to that, but thank you.
Oh, sorry.
It's okay. This is how we work. And so I had fourth row floor, which I want to say, and looking very forward to it. And on the way over to their house or their offices where we were going to get our counseling, many things occurred. 23 of 26 clients canceled their programs. There was somebody in our office who they thought had COVID and had gone for testing. In our office where everyone was working at the time at Winford, everyone had to leave immediately and I had to take control. And with everything canceling at Winford, it was apparent that Divine was going to go through something similar. And then the yoga studio obviously was on the verge of closing, and I collapsed in these two ladies' space. I doubled over and bawled my eyes out. And, you know, the kind of bawl where you're oozing out of every orifice. You know what I'm saying? It was a messy cry. I was overwhelmed with I might cry again, but I was overwhelmed with the burden. I was overwhelmed with the dark reality that all of the businesses and the people that worked with me were going to be shut down. And I was in a dark, hopeless place. Despair just descended on me and I cried. And they held the space for me, and so did Allison, as I just sobbed. And I think it started to rise out of my soul, my sobbing. At the same time, Susan was holding space for me, but healing me at the same time, as was Catherine. And I have never in my life felt the waves of vibrational waves that were rolling through me over and over and over again. I had to put myself together and hold a couple of conference calls while I was in their space. But their healing spiritual energy was, I'm so grateful. It was instantly healing. I was able, I don't know how long it took because time disappeared. All I know is we were only 5 or 10 minutes over our original time block when we left. And we ended up doing our counseling and our healing and on a very deep level. But I just thought that's the testament to who these ladies are and their ability to reach in. We did a lot of work on what was really happening out there in the world and what was really going to be happening with the businesses and where we needed to go. And all we came away from that with was so much hope. We came away from that experience with so much hope. The sadness, the despair, I had completely turned 180 degrees to be able to face my inevitable future, which took on, and it was like moving mountains for days and days and days and days and days and days. And I had the energy and the ability to do it. And I accredit it all to that morning in their space. So without further ado, I'm going to introduce now Catherine, Zana, and Susan Phillips. And with deep gratitude, I know you hold the space and will enlighten everyone as you did me.
Where do I go with that, Deb? Wow, that's phenomenal.
You were there.
Yeah, I was there. Susan and I would not be able to do what we do without the willingness, openness, courage, and trust of the people on this planet who are ready to take steps into exploring the depths of themselves. We wouldn't be able to contribute in any way because it's not about my talking. It's not about Susan talking. It's not even about us distance healing. It's about holding space, just like you say, for that knowingness to begin to resonate and radiate out of the depths of you. Ultimately, if we were going to put in one sentence what we do, it is very much holding space for people to experience for themselves the remembering of their true nature as spirit. And in this context, on this planet, spirit having a human experience. And 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 20 years ago, the concept that we are human beings having the occasional spiritual experience was still commonplace. And it is now that we are so much more primed and ready to have those in-depth conversations to explore and discover that which was always there. This deep knowingness within that wants to come out, that wants to be expressed through the very vehicle that we have called a human body. And how we express ourselves in this world is all that matters. And that originates in a willingness, the exercising of our sovereign right to choose free will in a direction that allows us to be in this world as spirit. Why is that important? Very simply put, because the world needs it.
Mm-hmm.
Susan, did I forget something that we do?
Probably, but it doesn't matter.
Yeah. It's about that concept of putting things into containers. So at a cocktail party, so what do you do? I mean, I've counseled Susan a number of times. You can say you're a magician. You can say you're an alchemist. You can say lots and lots of different things, but it's all about containers. And when you get to a place where you have a depth of intimacy with yourself as spirit, and you can remember 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, that you are more than your body and more than your mind and your thoughts and your actions combined, you get into a space where any kind of container is teeny tiny and tight. Mm-hmm. So we're sort of spiritual coaches. Let's put it at that. Mm-hmm. But ultimately, our joy comes from holding the space for you to explore the depths of you.
Mm-hmm. I like that, spiritual coaches.
Mm-hmm.
And since we are spirit and embodiment, and we are in this world in this time, with a show of hands, how many of you are anxious or show signs of anxiety? Just so I get a sense.
Yeah, it's often.
Sorry, hold it up. Just like I need to count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Anybody? Nobody else is showing signs of anxiety? Okay, most of you. All right. Who's showing signs of fear? Okay. Loneliness. Okay. So let's deal with the body first, since we are in a body. For those of you who were on the previous call or who have gone on our website, there's an energetic portal called the upper fourth, which is located midway between the heart and the throat. It's where the thymus gland is. And if you don't know where the thymus gland is, it is, you know, when you talk and you say, I did that, and you tap yourself there and you gesticulate and you say, yes, 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 and you're tapping that point midway between the heart and the throat. So that is where the upper fourth lies. To be able to mitigate the chemical reaction that anxiety and fear and loneliness and all those human emotions that we sometimes and occasionally feel, it is helpful to understand that part of our system, there's something called the parasympathetic nervous system. When you can learn to control that, you can learn to control these feelings. So if you were to place your hand on the upper fourth, and I'm going to move my screen down, my camera down so you can see right here. Except I'm going to actually put our left hand there. And the reason why I say the left hand, because it connects to the heart. And the upper fourth is the upper heart. So if you place your hand there, we'll do initially just a simple breathing exercise. And then I'm going to go into a meditation which has nothing to do with the breath, because when you're anxious, you actually can't control the breath. It becomes a hindrance in your ability to calm yourself down. But you can use this as a tool when you are feeling anxious. So we're going to breathe into the count of 4. Now, whatever your 4 is, it can be 1, 2, 3, 4. It can be 1, 2, 3, 4. Whatever your rhythm is and however you feel comfortable. So you breathe into the count of 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold for the count of 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Breathe out to the count of 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That is the cycle. You keep repeating that cycle, you will kick in your parasympathetic nervous system automatically. There's nothing to do except breathe into the count of 4, breathe out to the count, hold for the count of 4, breathe out to the count of 8. So do that on your own for about 10 seconds. Let's just do one cycle. Just do it on your own and tell me how that feels. Anybody have a nice big sigh after that? Very good. So that is something that you can do very easily wherever you are the moment you start to feel any kind of emotion that is not serving you. I'm going to lead a meditation. And I'm going to lead you not through the breath, but just by holding your hand on the upper fourth, if it's comfortable to do that. If it's not, that's also okay. But you can just tap to activate it if you don't want to hold your hand there. So if you would all just close your eyes, allow yourself to be comfortable in the space where you are sitting. And I invite you to enter into the inner sanctum of you. This inner sanctum is a stillness space, a healing space, a space for going in, within, while physically being isolated. This is a space where you have a conversation without words, a conversation of allowing what is inside to be acknowledged. It's an opportunity to attend to you as a being, to recognize you as a being. When you do this and you allow yourself to be in the stillness of this space, you allow yourself to expand. The natural state of the universe is one of expansion. And you in spirit, in a physical body, can allow yourself to expand beyond the container of your physical state. And with your consciousness, you can become aware of the space around you. You can allow your cells to expand into that space. And as you expand, any emotions that do not serve you, such as anxiety, fear, loneliness, sadness, frustration, they can leave the cells of your body by expansion alone. As you hold that space for yourself, for your being, for your spirit, and acknowledge the physical state that you feel, you allow spirit to step in and to become cause over your physical state. Notice the expansion. Notice the release. Notice the space that is left behind. You don't need to fill it with anything. Now you have space for you as a being to be. So allow yourself to be. Now bring your attention back to your breath. Follow the in-breath and the out-breath. And when you are ready, bring yourself back into the space where you are sitting. And you may open your eyes.
I have to get Kleenex.
So when you enter, rather when you allow yourself to enter into the inner sanctum of you, you being capital Y, you as spirit, in the acknowledgement you, I want to say encourage. You encourage the fullness of you to be there. And to do that takes courage. And the word courage comes from the French coeur, which is heart. So you allow the fullness of you to be from the heart. Unconditional love. How did everybody feel? Good. Thanks, Thea.
Grounded, like centered.
Yeah. Anybody want to share? Anybody wish to share?
I didn't hear you, Anna.
I'm good.
Oh.
Nancy, was that a wave that you wanted to say something? Not Nancy, sorry. Donna.
Miss Donna?
Yeah.
You have to unmute Miss Donna.
Okay.
There you go.
Yes. It's very peaceful.
Very peaceful. Excellent. Good.
Did anyone get dizzy?
A little bit.
Thea did.
Yeah. A little bit.
Does that scare you or make you feel uncomfortable?
Not really. It was actually a bit of a relief
Yeah.
because I feel like there's been such a tight band around my chest, and since I've last our call, I've been trying to release it, but it comes and goes. So it felt good actually.
Awesome.
Thea, can we share that you are no longer in Manhattan and you are out of the city?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Just wanted to share.
I spoke to you the night before I left, and it was really quite a few 12 hours in between, and there was unexpected kind of issues coming up. So it wasn't just about fleeing, it was relationships with family, putting my dog to sleep before I left that morning, who failed. So it was one, I hate to sound selfish, it was wonderful to leave this very sad place that I'd been living in. But it's wonderful to be able to be here and transported to another physical place. But the emotions follow you. But it's been really wonderful to be able to leave. I feel very, very blessed and very fortunate.
Well, and thanks for being with us tonight too, from your new temporary home.
Thank you.
This is a really good opportunity to touch upon something before we engage in a bit more of a group conversation. Susan's meditation has created a space of expansiveness, which is the opposite of what the news and the media does. And in a state of contraction, stimulated by fear and doubt and uncertainty and scarcity and all of those destabilizers that are so filling the global narrative, it's very easy to forget that we are incredibly powerful beings that have the ability within us to impact this world, to make this world a place where we would like to be. Lots of things have happened in the story of the human experience over the last couple of months, maybe 3 months. But one thing that has not changed in any way is that which is the most important focus for all of us who are here to hold space for the world, to create a new expansive stability in an elevated reality. And that one thing is called consciousness. Consciousness is a word that is thrown around and is used synonymously with other words like awareness and remembering. And I wanted to read for maybe a minute an excerpt from a book I'm writing that speaks to the distinction between consciousness and awareness and remembering. Words that I'm going to read in a moment are designed to bypass the mind. You can choose to process them through the mind if you wish. It may result in some frustration. Just like with Susan's meditation, you can instead allow yourself to open to what the frequency of this particular sequence of letters and spaces does. And then after this video comes out, you're free to listen to the reading again because once may not be enough to integrate all. So to begin, let's examine 2 words: consciousness and awareness. Consciousness and awareness are 2 very different things. Consciousness is the formless matter from which you were created, the sea within which you unify as one. It is the all-encompassing, infinite, and ever-expanding origin of all. Where knowingness is the remembering of consciousness, awareness is a measure of our ability to observe consciousness. It is through observation that we dissolve the illusion of separation between who we think we are and our origin. It is thus through observation that we expand into the sea of consciousness from whence we came. Consciousness is expressed through creation. The more we expand our level of knowingness, the more we have access to observing consciousness, and the more aware we become as beings. This awareness becomes accessible to us in this world of form the more we be. To be is to acknowledge that we are spiritual beings having a human experience. In today's times, living life through the eyes of spirit is the most direct path to self-realization, where self can be defined as the whole and complete expression of God. something to reflect upon, something to feel into as you, with each breath in every now moment, and remember the now moment is the only moment that exists, choose how you wish to navigate this world. And it is through each of your choices in every moment that we all collectively create the reality that we experience. It's not about governments telling us how to do what we do. It's not about financial institutions showing us if we have scarcity or prosperity and abundance in our lives. It's about every choice that you make and standing in a state of accountability as you make those choices. All right, Allison.
Okay, I don't know about you, but I felt like I just slipped through the wormhole there a little bit.
Good. Good.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. So we sent everybody a couple of questions to ponder before our call tonight. And I just want to throw out the first one, which was courtesy of Susan. And it was, what happens when you lose the light within? Would anybody like to share what that is for them or what that's like for them? Anybody? Okay, Miss Pat. Can we unmute Miss Pat? There it is.
Thank you. I thought that was a really good question, Susan. That made me reflect a lot on what I was feeling, because I was feeling the light was dimming.
Mhm.
And what I really got out of that was that my passion and my motivation, when I lost the light, my passion and my motivation was dwindling as well. And that connection to other human beings, that connection that I so enjoyed and really was my motivation and my passion, was starting to become fearful. And that scared me, because I realized when I lost the light that I was losing self.
So, what if you actually didn't lose the light? What if, when you place your hand on the upper fourth and remember that you are spirit first, that the light is always there, that what you are feeling is the human condition and not you as spirit? Does that make any sense to you?
It does. I think it was the fear that I was losing that connection to the divine, to
Right.
the
Right. So when you acknowledge, like I said in the meditation, when you acknowledge you as spirit, if you put your hand on the upper fourth and say to yourself, I remember. And you can say, well, what do I remember? The mind will say, well, what do you mean I remember? This is not a journey for the mind. This is a journey for you as spirit and embodiment. So when you say, I remember, you are saying, I am spirit. I am. So what are you when you say, I am? Who are you when you say, I am? Now you could say, well, I'm Pat. Are you?
Really? No. I mean, that's a name, right?
That's a name, exactly. So You can say, I am Pat. That's great because you are. That's what people know you as. But if you were to share you, capital Y, as spirit,
Mm-hmm.
I'm guessing that you as spirit are this amazing, wonderful, kind, generous being that is so willing to help other people and to share your gifts. Yes? I don't know you, but I'm guessing it's probably true.
Thank you. And when you don't have that connection here now, like that feeling of connection,
Yes.
it takes away that gift, right? It
Well,
hinders it, doesn't take it away. You're right.
doesn't take it
Only
away.
it just subdues it for
So
because
now,
I'm not paying enough attention.
attention to it. So now you have an
Mhm.
opportunity. So here's
Got
the
it.
opportunity.
Got it.
What is the opportunity? Is for you to step up and be courageous.
Mhm.
Opportunity for everybody to step up and be courageous, to brighten that light. So if you step outside and you go for a walk and you're walking 6 feet apart from people and you only having eye contact or you're saying hi to neighbors at a distance, when you emanate you, Pat, in your divine state, are you being of service?
Thank you. I understand.
You understand? So
do.
I am, whether I'm with people or not, I am.
Yeah, I was pulling it too much into the reality. I was, you're right. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Would anyone else like to share? Pondering that question?
How do I speak?
We can hear you now, Anna.
So how do you become that? If you've been who you are all this time, what's the spirit? What do you do when you're all alone and you're walking and you're, saying hi to everybody? What pleasure does that give you? It doesn't give me any pleasure.
No,
No.
I understand.
It tells me that I am away from everybody.
Which it's true, you are. In reality, in this reality, you are separated from people. I get that.
And I am a spirit, literally, because it seems like people can't see you.
Oh, they can see you. They probably scared to look because don't go too close. Don't
Yeah.
even if I face you, oh my God, this COVID-19 is going to jump out at me.
Talking, that to me, I don't know how long I can't keep like that up. Keep that up. That to me is, I don't know. It's got to end sometime because I can't stay like that.
Well,
Not me, and it's not and I don't know how to fix it.
okay. So what if you already had it?
Put it to you this way: I've got more anger than I do have fear.
Ah, who are you angry with?
I guess the world, the whole thing.
The whole thing. Yeah, I can see that.
What's the anger giving you?
Pardon?
What is the anger giving you?
Anxiety, I guess. I'm just angry, and I can't. I can't voice that anger.
Because no one listens?
Well, yeah, because everybody's too afraid to listen.
What if you had a conversation with yourself?
I do. And I get angrier.
So who are you talking to?
Myself.
Okay, but besides yourself, who else are you talking to?
My daughter, my children, my friends.
Yeah, is everybody angry?
No, they don't. They see it as we're told to do this, so we have to do this. So it's almost like herd mentality, and they're so afraid, which I understand why we're doing it, but they're so afraid to say anything, right, wrong, or indifferent, that they just, they keep quiet. Because God forbid they say the wrong thing. And, you turn it around, they turn it around, and, well, we have to do this because we're told to do this. It's the safest thing to do. We'll get out of this faster. We'll get there quicker.
So I'm all about following the law, the law of the land.
Follow the law too. Absolutely. It's become I find that it's not democratic anymore. It's almost.
I hear you, and you. Yeah, no. Listen. I grew up in a police state, so I understand exactly. There's a very fine line between freedom, the greater good, and martial law. I understand all that.
And it's going to they're slowly taking it away from you, because let me tell you, when we come out of this, the other end, whenever that may be, it's not going to be
Well, you can say that, but we as citizens have power. And
I think they've instilled so much fear in citizens that it's going to take a long time for that to come back out.
Well, you can be at the vanguard then. You can teach people how not to be fearful.
Wow.
You have an opportunity to show them.
Yeah, and I probably will, because I'm a person that voices my concern all the time, whether they want to hear it.
Good. We need people like you. That's excellent. But in the meantime, when you start to strengthen you as spirit, and remember, and you say you don't know what spirit is, do you know who you are?
Oh, I know who I am.
Yeah. If you place your hand.
But I feel, I am. I consider myself a very strong individual. I've gone through a lot, and that brings a tear to me.
That's okay. It's good to acknowledge that. It's good to acknowledge how courageous you are. That's amazing. It's important to acknowledge that. Because in the acknowledgement, it gives you power.
Yeah, but I feel the power is being slowly taken away.
I'm not talking about that kind of power. I'm talking about your internal power.
Even within me.
Right. So if you were to place your hand on the upper fourth, can you do that now? Can you look into the camera so I can see your face? Yes, thank you. Can you look at me? Just keep looking at me. Do you notice anything?
Peace or calmness.
Excellent. Well done. So who noticed that? What part of you noticed that?
A couple of things on anger. Anger is a stage in the process of grieving, isn't it?
Yep.
And in a reality where everything changed overnight, tons of stuff that we were able to do before and probably took for granted no longer are available to us for who knows how long. There's no manual, there's no rule book, there's more absurdity every day. And we seem to be in a position where we can do less and less and less to make a difference. the process of a reality crumbling is most certainly enough for one to get thrown into a spiral of the various stages of grief. And that's something very important to acknowledge. We can talk about the magic of the phoenix burning up and then rising from the ashes, but it's still quite a journey to take on one's own. And all of us are in various stages of being burnt up, recognizing that we are ash, and then choosing whether we wish to rise up from those ashes and enter into a world with a completely different perspective, whether we like it or not. That's one side of anger. The other side of anger can be a representation of a resistance that exists deep within, a resistance to be more of our authentic self in this world, a resistance to accepting what's happening in this world, a resistance to contributing to a world we aren't really sure we want to be part of anymore, because where is the joy that we used to have in it, and where are all those people we used to share this beautiful world with? The more that's taken away from us, the more we realize that maybe we're alone. We're born alone. We die alone. We can choose to cultivate a space within ourselves that gives us the ability to be at peace with that or not. Ultimately, this isolation is a forced global initiative to take a look at the mirror or not. The more we struggle with that act of looking at ourselves, the more we externalize our dissatisfaction, the more painful it'll be. On the other hand, if we can give ourselves the breath to acknowledge what we've been through, what we may have lost, what we may have just barely survived, and yet we're still here. And instead of turning a corner after that much difficulty and pain, we're suddenly faced with this stuff when we thought the rest of the life would be beautiful and wonderful and just sunny all the way through. Where's the justice in that? Who's tired? Who's tired of fighting and resisting and living in a world that feels completely out of alignment and not reflective in any way of who we know we are inside? People who come, yeah, absolutely. The people who come to work with us and the people who approach people like us all over the world, we're kind of scattered like marbles, generally come to us when they are sufficiently uncomfortable. Because for good or bad, it is the human condition to stay in a state of comfort and that which is known as long as possible, even if that state of comfort is truly the most uncomfortable thing that you are experiencing. It's only when that discomfort becomes sufficient that you open up to taking a look. This may not be the moment for all of us to take a look in the mirror, but it certainly is a moment for us to acknowledge that there's a lot of stuff going on inside of us. And anger may very well be one of those things. The only way to get out of the spiral of anger, which is easily fueled and it's like fire and rocket fuel, is to acknowledge it and feel it. Be honest with yourself. How angry are you? And why are you really angry? Susan?
So how many people are angry? So no matter what you're feeling, okay.
I think we can do that. Yeah.
Should we?
Yeah. It can be a private experience, but absolutely.
Okay, let me see how I'm going to do this.
They can write down the numbers, you know, they can write it down just to acknowledge it to themselves.
Okay, Catherine, can you just walk them through that? My dog is driving me crazy and I need to give her something to keep her quiet.
Absolutely. So this is what we're going to do.
I'll be right back.
Identify the most uncomfortable feeling that exists within you right now.
Okay.
Anna, it can be anger. It can be isolation. It can be doubt. It can be scarcity. It can be concern. It can be all over fear. It can be paralyzing anxiety. It can be exhaustion. It can be a sense of injustice. It can be a sense of absolutely not knowing what tomorrow is going to bring, and that uncertainty is paralyzing. It can be whatever is the most uncomfortable. It can be a hatred for how many pounds you've gained while being forced to stay in your home. Yeah. It can be whatever you want it to be, but make sure it is the most uncomfortable thing you can find in yourself right now.
All good? Everybody's got it? Yeah? Okay. So this is the process.
A really important process, ladies.
Now you can do this on your own, but it's much easier if somebody walks you through it. Did you tell them about the numbers?
Not yet.
Okay. So we have a scale called 1 to 10. So Anna, you're going to be my guinea pig. I'll talk about anger. Everybody else substitute their word for whatever when I say anger, okay? Because I don't know what each one of you is doing. If you put your hand on the upper fourth. So remember in the meditation, I had mentioned about expansion. Expanding into something, expanding into something. The natural state of the universe is one of expansion. When we hold a feeling that doesn't serve us, like anger or fear, it causes a contraction. And we are therefore contracting against in our physical state and energetically as well. So it's painful. So instead of trying to push it away, we're going to allow it to be there. So this is an allowing exercise. So whatever feeling that you have that you want to reduce, you are going to allow that feeling to be there. And this is how you do it. And I'm going to ask you to feel that feeling, say anger, and I want you to allow it to be there. So initially you're going to hold it back and you're going to say, oh, it's a 6 out of 10. And then I'm going to say, although you're not going to tell me what the number is, you need to mentally say, okay, it's a 6. Allow it to get worse. Allow it to go to a 10. Sometimes it goes to a 20. Sometimes it goes to 100. Whatever it goes to, let it go to that. Don't push it away. Allow it to be there. Because our natural state is one of expansion. It will start to dissipate as long as you hold it there. You acknowledge it. It'll go, maybe it'll go to a 10. Then it'll go down to an 8. Then it'll go to a 9. Then it'll go to a 6. It's this allowing process of allowing that feeling to be there, no matter what the number, without judgment, without a story. Allow it to be there. Everybody understand what to do? Any questions? We all good? Yes? Okay, let's start. Close your eyes. Okay. Hold that feeling, whatever that feeling is, and allow whatever that number is to be there. So I'm assuming that it's gone up from a 6 to an 8 to a 10, and in the acknowledgement of allowing it to be there, it's either going up or it's going down. In each time it reaches whatever plateau it is, you acknowledge it. No story, no judgment. You're just allowing it to be there. And once the contraction reaches a point where it can't go any higher, it will start to release. And then you'll have a new level to deal with. And you keep doing that until it starts to go down. And maybe you can't get to zero right now, because we only have a short time to do this. But if you do this on your own, allow time for it to go down. And it will release the energetic patterns of anger and sadness and fear from the cells of your body. And yes, you can cry. It's good to cry because it releases, or yawn, however it releases. So, okay. That's just a very mini intensive to give you a sense of how to release the feelings that are holding you back. Okay, Alison?
Thank you, Susan. Oh, I love seeing everybody wiping away tears. That's so beautiful. Yeah.
I've got to stop making people cry.
No, but it's so it's our way of releasing, right? Everything that's been pent up after what week are we in now? 5, 4? I can't.
I've lost count.
I've lost count too. And those of us who are isolating alone, right? I'm a single woman living in my own place, as many of you are here. And so I understand Anna, Carol, Sonia, Maura, Donna, Pat, Anita, like many of us. So thank you, Susan. Thank you, Susan, for that.
Yeah, Deb, go for it.
So what I loved so much about that was the permission to feel the feeling I wasn't letting myself feel.
Yeah.
And B, the invitation to let it expand and not either push it aside or fight, with the contractions.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, that was just really powerful. It just really got in touch with this idea that I was feeling so much shame about trusting people and being betrayed, and it just happening recently again. And I was feeling so much shame about that, like just intent. But I wasn't letting myself feel shame, because who wants to feel shame, right? It feels awful.
Mm-hmm.
And so the effort, the unconscious effort I was putting into, holding it over there.
Yeah.
Very good.
Right.
Very good.
Right. Was in the way of me being with my light. It was really like it was, and again, so unconscious, but I feel so much better now. Thank you. Thank you.
In general, we're allocated a specific number of breaths in a given life. A different way of putting that is we're allocated a certain amount of vital energy to keep us alive in a given life, which is why exercising our right to action that energy, to use that energy with purposeful precision, is so important to consider. Using it to suppress discomfort in whatever form it takes is not technically the reason why it was allocated to us. You can certainly live a life suppressing. That's fine. If that's the way you choose to navigate that part of the journey, that's your choice. But it doesn't feel as good as if you were to exude that vibrancy in a different way.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like we all need to exhale, sigh it out. Yeah.
And to tie that into travel for just a minute, just a really corny segue, you go wherever you travel to. You take yourself with you. And if you
Right.
hate yourself, or if you travel in order to get away from your life, good luck.
Mhm.
So the more you can release these senses of discomfort, the more that you can tap into what is joyful, joyous, meaningful to you, the more you can make of those experiences to appreciate the beauty on this planet.
Mhm.
Love that. Meaningful to you.
Mhm.
That's very important.
It is.
A travel experience or anything, but a travel experience that is meaningful to you.
So I think it would be good to hear from those who wish to say something, just to answer that question. What would, right now in the moment, what would travel that is meaningful for you look like?
How about we start with you, Deb? Oh yeah, Helen, go for it.
Yeah.
We'll go to you soon, Deb.
Yeah.
For some reason it's not unmuting. Okay, now go ahead, Helen.
I have to do something. For me, if I was traveling now, it would have to be something like a safari. It would be outdoors. It would be with nature. It would be seeing new animals, having new experiences with, I'd say, cultures that are attuned to natural environment.
Hear that.
I agree.
Mm-hmm.
I agree as well. It was interesting. I decided to do as a project a photo book, and I had been on a trip to South Africa, but it was in 2014, and those photos were just sitting on my computer, and I had done nothing with them. So I decided to pull them together as a gift for myself, but also for the friends that I was traveling with. And when I looked at the open space, when I looked at the animals and the nature, it made me realize when I was thinking about travel, I used to love being the most, social person. I think I'd rather be in a smaller group, a more intimate opportunity to share the experience. I'd love to see the openness that I remember of South Africa, the openness of the wide open space and the being able to totally breathe and just feel the joy and awe of seeing nature at its best. So Helen, I'm on that trip with you.
I was thinking, how about the polar bears and the beluga whales in Churchill? For me, it's got to be something connected to our Indigenous people, First Nations. I'm in the same lane of finding my reconnection with Mother Earth and nature, and being in the outdoors, experiencing animals in their own habitat in a non-harmful, absolutely non-harmful way. Going more back to basics. I think, connecting and being with people is amazing, but I think the balance of connecting and being with people and being in nature is of utmost importance right now. That would be for me. Maura?
I have three answers. My first answer was anywhere with my husband, because right now we're in different places and we live that way, and normally it's okay, but it's just hard right now
Because you're being forced to do it, right?
well, and because we don't know
When it's going to end.
Yeah. And we do travel really well together. We met in this circumstance. My second was any place to be with family and friends. But my third answer is, I thought about, what really sparked my love of travel, and it's anywhere that takes me out of my comfort zone. Because it enables me to really, so Catherine was saying, why do I travel? And and I think it helps me discover who I am. And when I was 17, I was an exchange student, and I went to Brazil when I was 17, which was in 1980, by myself, to a place where no one spoke the language that I spoke. And, you know, it was a really wonderful experience in expansion. And so, you know, one of the things I found is that it really enabled me to see myself through different eyes, from a different perspective, and to be someone else. So I wasn't someone's sister, I wasn't someone's friend, I wasn't someone's daughter, I wasn't, you know, at that age, you know, you define yourself so much by your context. And by taking me out of my context in a very uncomfortable situation, it was so freeing, because I was able to discover that I could be whoever I not just wanted to be, like not whimsical like that, but be who I aspired to be. Like just let that part of me out that might have felt subject to limitations in different ways. So I think the third answer is, you know, when I look for a place to go, I look for a place that'll take me out of my comfort zone.
For what comes up for me is our shared humanity. More now than ever, since we've had this lockdown, is my desire, I'm going to cry, to connect with other cultures, other traditions, for no other reason than to reaffirm that we are all just the same. We're all, whether our language, our culture, or where we live, our socioeconomic background, we are all intrinsically the same. And I think that is what will bring us and the world together and heal us. So for me, it's about a shared humanity.
Mm-hmm. Anyone else with some thoughts on?
Yeah.
Oh, Pia?
May I?
Yes.
It's interesting because for me, I imagine some place that's very quiet, very simple. Maybe I'm thinking of a Zen garden, Allison, and you know, tatami, and you know, beautiful. You can smell like the wet grass or moss or something kind of more more of a quiet, small community with being able to listen and hear and smell and kind of, I don't know, take off all this sort of layers of armor, but in a nice place. I travel often for work, so I like to travel when it's not long distances or chaotic, or I don't know how to describe it, where you have to be at a certain place at a certain time. So I'm thinking for me, I would love to sort of be, you know, have a monastic or some kind of experience that's very simple and not complex. That's sort of how
Beautiful.
I feel.
Yeah, these are all great answers. These are all so helpful.
So Deb, do we want to talk about sort of what we're thinking of moving forward?
Well, I think we need to take in everything that everyone said. It resonated so deeply with me. There wasn't any answer that was, you know, opposite to how you and I feel. And actually, I think it deepened our understanding of what we really want to create, right? So I think we need to take that away and really integrate that. And then talk more maybe on the next call about what we've been able to discover. You know, the outdoor experience, the nature experience, the serenity, the humanity, the out of our comfort zone, but yet connected. Simplicity. Yeah, these are all powerful descriptors. And so I think we take that away.
How about considering the byproduct or the outcome of a trip like that? What would you hope to gain by taking those ideal trips?
Anna?
Some peace.
Peace. Great. What next? Let's throw some words out. Anyone who wants to unmute, go for it.
Rejuvenation, like just refreshing.
Okay.
Expansion.
Great.
Okay.
Increase self-love.
Who said that? Self-love? Maura?
Nancy.
Nancy.
Nancy, self-love. I love that.
Self-healing.
Healing.
Beautiful.
Joy.
Joy.
Hi, Sonia.
But I'm Carol. Anything? Don't want to put you on the spot or anything.
I think you just did.
I did.
I know. Donna?
Myself. Simplicity.
Lish, Laura Lee, anyone? Helen? Andrea?
Anita? Anita's up.
I think maybe shared community that has been achieved by more than just outside experiences, by some of the internal thoughts that could be developed together.
Can I get more clarity on that? What you mean by that?
Well, I think some of the things that you've been doing on this call could be done in community. I think meditation, all kinds of stuff, you know, yoga, all of those things that we could do together, build a sense of community, which I think so many of us are so lacking at the moment.
Yeah, thank you. Laura Lee, did you want to say anything?
Yeah, I wanted to go to a place where the people who are there are in harmony with nature and with each other. I'm like, just got a huge craving for a place of peace and integration and safety and harmony. So my takeaway from that kind of a trip where I've gone to see an unblemished world by humans would be hope and faith that there is still that for us. Yeah. It would inspire me.
Beautiful.
Anyone else like to share?
It's a really, really great list. Go ahead.
Go, Marilee. Discovery.
On different levels.
Please explain.
Sorry?
Please explain.
Well, just discovering different places, but discovering ourselves, discovering the people or the animals or the nature or any of those things. Going to look at whales or looking for icebergs or a new people or
beautiful
this peace. Discovering.
I find the word discovery fascinating, and it comes up a lot. Discovery is the act of seeing something that's been there all along.
It's uncovering.
Yeah.
You had the power all along, Dorothy.
That's right.
Yeah.
Little shoes. That list is phenomenal. And although travel, for me, for example, allows me to broaden my perspective. When I'm in the same routine for long enough, I begin to slip into a fear of changing it. So regularly seeing different places in the world, places that take me out of my comfort zone, are a healthy way for me to open up my eyes a bit wider, to embrace bigger parts of myself. But that list that we just generated as a group isn't a list of things that are impossible for us to achieve and experience unless we travel. There are things on that list, all things on that list, that we can achieve in our homes right now.
Okay, I'm just going to repeat some of them.
Please do.
Peace, rejuvenation, expansion, self-love, healing, joy, simplicity, shared community. Oh, I can't read my own writing here. Harmony with nature, discovery,
inspiration,
personal with people, in nature, and yeah, peace. We opened it with peace and closed it with peace. So on that happy note, people, we are coming to the end of our call. And Susan, I'm wondering if you would like to share the courage affirmation with us.
Sure. I'll just read it.
Fantastic.
Okay. My courage is an access point to remembering that I am. I am a spiritual being having a human experience. I am spirit in embodiment. My courage allows me to remember that I am a spark of the infinite, thus having access to all the seen and unseen has to offer. I am. My courage allows me to be in a state of sacred neutral from which I can look through the eyes of spirit, seeing all, observing all, being all. I am. My courage is the portal to the deepest recesses of the all. I am. At the level of I am, I dissolve or transcend courage into certainty. I am the fullness of courage. I am beingness embodied. Oneness, isness, I am. I am. Courage, I am.
It's beautiful, thank you. And what we're going to do is I will send that to you in an email. And Susan, do you want us maybe give context around that? If people are looking to maybe integrate that into their daily practice?
Well, if you were to say this with your hand on the upper fourth every day with purpose and intention, and you were to do it sequentially, say for 68 days, without missing a day, it will enable you to remember that you are courage, that you have courage, and you will start to build a spiritual stamina, a state of beingness.
Thank you. And as you're saying that, because I live in the downtown core, I want to open the door. It's 7:30. And 7:30 every night, people make noise to acknowledge the first responders. I'm going to open my door and see if you can hear it. I don't know if you can hear the noisemakers and the cheers. And can you hear it?
No,
No.
take your laptop outside. I can't hear it.
All right, I'm going.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can you hear it?
Yep. Yep.
That's our humanity. That's our shared humanity.
It's fantastic.
And it's fantastic. Every night at 7:30 as we're all ensconced in our homes.
Oh, that's fantastic.
It's beautiful. Beautiful.
Gorgeous.
I think it's fascinating.
So thank you, Catherine. Thank you, Susan. Thank you, all you beautiful souls, for joining us tonight. We will be back, and hopefully you'll join us on another call. So
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, ladies.
good night.
Good night,
Bye.
Stay
everyone.
well. Stay
Bye.
home. Stay safe.
Thank you.
Make
Yeah.
noise at 7:30.
Okay.
You do look stunning. I don't understand what's happening.
Seriously.
All the napping, I have to be honest, it's all the napping.
What
Oh.
napping? When did you get the
napping?
chance to nap
Oh,
today?
don't make me jealous
I'll
now.
tell you, I napped precisely between the first session we had. I gave Casper 10 minutes and then I went into deep meditation that was like crazy, which is why I couldn't land for the second session. It went very well, but you have to like clock it in the no time space, right?
That's assuming you have internet, yes.
That's
You
a
were with
challenge.
Rogers all day, weren't you?
Pretty much.
But you have it back, or you're frozen now.
Am I frozen?
Yeah.
You're frozen into a smile.
Okay.
How are your
Susan had
doggies?
to tether the whole day to her phone.
Okay, hold on. Let me get tethered.
Okay.
Yeah, you're unfrozen. Looking absolutely stunning there, Susan. There you go.
Thank you. And untethered. And I'm tethered. Okay.
There you go.
Brilliant. Are you guys ready
Alrighty.
for tonight? I'm having dinner as we talk. Are you
I
guys
haven't
ready
eaten
for tonight?
dinner yet, but I've had lunch. I had a late lunch.
Had lunch. I've had a glass of wine.
I had a mimosa.
Are you feeling tropical? When do you generally have those?
What is in a
have them.
mimosa?
What do you?
It's
Having
it's
a brunch
prosecco. It's prosecco and orange juice,
Right, okay.
and it's quite refreshing.
Yeah?
Yeah, I have quite the lineup of calls tonight, so I thought I should start light.
What are you doing after?
I'm talking to Bill's cousins, David and Maureen, at 7:45. And then I'm FaceTiming with my son, who's with his girlfriend in Washington, D.C. at 9 o'clock.
Nice.
Yeah.
How are
I'm
you,
gonna make
Allison?
teriyaki chicken and then have a bath.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm gonna edit videos until my eyes cross.
Mm.
I'd love to talk to you about how to do that.
Okay. Do you have a Mac?
No.
Then I can't talk to you.
There's a part of me that goes, oh, phew.
That's
Okay,
hilarious.
good.
Then I can't talk to you.
I don't know how your machine works at all. I just use the beautiful program that came with my computer, and it's awesome.
So what videos are you editing, Catherine?
The online sessions we have with clients,
Oh, yeah.
sometimes they have long periods of silence, and so I just cut those out for people.
Yeah, right.
So I have a couple of those to do for today. So-
Allison, did you send me an email with the agenda in it?
Yes.
I know. I understand. I put my hand up. I'm completely remedial. I just want to pull it up on my phone.
I sent it the end of last week, Thursday.
Okie dokie.
I think it was when did we have our call? Thursday?
Thursday? Yeah. No. We had a Good Friday, didn't we?
Oh, yes. Okay, then it was Good Friday. Correct.
Because I kept thinking crucifixion.
Did you experience that?
Yes, I feel like the crucifixion. I mean, you know, I never went to church a day in my life. My religious training comes from Jesus Christ Superstar. But, and true. But
okay, that is the phrase of the day for me, right there.
all true. You know I'm not lying.
I know.
Anyway, yeah, I feel like there is a crucifixion feels like a little stronger than what I feel, but I do think there's like a death of, you know, a stripping away of the things that my ego was so attached to. And it's a good thing. Like it's a good, you know, it's a detaching more than a death, I would say. I'm detaching, disengaging from the things that my mind believed were so important. And now it's so abundantly clear that they're not. And that the reality that the control I really sort of hoped to have had, I don't. And it's freeing, actually. I don't have any control.
Can I what tense is that, hope to have had?
In the past, I hoped in the past that I had some modicum of control. I kind of knew from all of our work, Allison, that I didn't really, but I had hope that maybe I did have some control. But now I know I don't have any control.
And how can things move forward? Isn't that what the mind wants to know?
Yeah, but you know what, I'm experiencing a lot of flow because I'm really practicing not being in my mind. My mind doesn't know. My mind knows diddly squat. My mind I was telling this to Allison, my mind used to think it knew everything. But it doesn't. I don't know anything, really. I mean, other than what I know about myself.
What does that do to conversations with people? Do you have less to say?
Yeah, I just go with the flow. I do. I think when Allison and I were walking the other day, we were just flowing. Like it was like, what do you call that? A stream of consciousness?
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's great.
Yeah, I don't have an agenda or you know what I mean? Don't want to sound good or sound bad or I don't have anything. But what comes out of my mouth?
Can I interject here?
Yeah.
I like Catherine's question, what does that do to conversation?
Mm-hmm.
And it stops it. It stops the banality. It stops the superficiality, the frivolity, lots of E words, right? And it's with people who can't have that sort of, or I don't know what the word is, whether they haven't seen yet, they haven't known yet, they aren't there yet.
Are your friends falling away?
Deb, you can answer that question.
And I'm not mocking you. It's a natural stage in this process.
Mm-hmm.
How many friends do you have, Deb?
See, my friends have been falling away for quite some time.
Okay.
But I'm down. I love the people who are in my life right now, and they're all easy in terms of that being in that flow of conversation. And where it's not, I'm a listener. I become a listener.
Holding space.
Yeah. And I just relax into that rather than trying to appear some way. Just relax into that.
Or to change them or to argue with them or.
Yeah, no, yeah.
I have to say, like for me, for a while now, my friends have been of the same ilk, right? Mm-hmm. Where we can have deep conversations. And sometimes I have to go permission to go deep.
Really?
And they all say yes.
Maybe I should ask for permission first, Susan. Is that what I'm missing in my sequence?
Permission to go deep.
Oh, that's funny. It's nice though. It's really great. And are you finding that the virtual conversations that you're having now are supporting or conducive to cultivating deeper connection?
I do. Yeah. And I would never, so this kind of thing in my life, I wasn't a FaceTimer, I wasn't a Skyper. I didn't really do video meetings. It was like on the telephone or in live in person. And so a couple of things are happening. One, the people I do this with, I'm very discerning. I'm not just getting on a Zoom call or on a FaceTime with anyone. So the people I'm FaceTiming with are my people I have deep connections with. And I find because the medium. Oh, I've lost you.
What?
I'll come back. Did something happened?
I don't know. We see you. We hear you.
You do?
Yes.
Yes, there it is. Yeah, it's more like real and focused, right? And more, I don't know. It just feels more connected, more real, more focused, less fluff, to Allison's point. Right? You don't have time for the fluff. It's but genuine interest in what people are doing, how they're doing, how they're faring.
And I miss face-to-face. I really miss face-to-face.
Well, we do it now. Allison and I meet and do a walk once a week, which is great. 6 feet apart.
That sounds weird, but still amazing.
Yeah, it is weird, but it's great, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
it's exactly what I needed yesterday.
Mhm.
And and as I said, I'm an introvert, so this is what I've been preparing for my whole life, and yet I miss. I was reading the other day that people, what they're saying now, instead of, when this is all over, instead of going out for dinner, or going shopping, or traveling, or whatever, what people want to do more than anything else is hug somebody else.
Yeah.
Is have a hug.
Yeah.
And I totally understand that.
Yeah. I totally.
You know what, Allison? The candlelight in your view is fantastic. I'm gonna go get a couple of candles. That's beautiful. I'm gonna get some candles. Be right back. What were you gonna, did you say you were gonna share something, Catherine, when I went to get my candles? I missed that. How are you doing?
What is she doing?
So weird. Is that Caesar? Who is that? Oh, is that Trump?
I don't even know why you would have that. Don't understand.
It's scary looking, man. Can you eat it? Is it jelly?
No, it's just a stress ball.
Stress ball. Excellent.
How have you two been doing? How are you?
Good.
We're doing well. Yesterday, I took half a day off. I don't understand what happened. And I took half a day off. I watched Sex and the City for like 12 hours.
I
It
love
was
that
amazing.
show.
But it was also interesting that guilt wanted to seep in. Like more than a dozen times it would enter in. And I ate more carbs when it came. And then I followed that up with some protein. And then I kept layering with carbs. And it was an amazing day. I don't think I had vegetables. And when does that happen? I had a really great time. But I
love that.
I had to give myself that space. I didn't move. I was on the couch. I was horizontal on purpose. I felt like my spine needed to just not be bent. Like it was really quite interesting.
Interesting that we say we have to give ourselves that space.
Oh, yeah. I'm very good at not. So, yeah, absolutely.
I had 2 Pillsbury cinnamon buns today. My son baked them.
Oh, that's amazing.
And I ate 2 for lunch, and it was fantastic.
That's amazing.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm putting on the COVID-19.
Oh, my God. Is that how much? You know what I'm doing, Allison? Oh, my God. I
What does that
can't.
mean?
It means she's gaining 19 pounds during this isolation.
Oh, okay.
I can't let myself do
Get
that.
I didn't understand that.
I don't have enough stretchy clothes. So do you know what I've started doing? Flights of stairs for 20 minutes at a time. That's my cardio, and then weights until I'm beyond mind-numbingly bored. I find them so boring. But the stairs, 20 minutes of stairs,
That's a lot
great
of time.
workout. It is a long time. And I use it as a meditation. So if I didn't, again, how boring, but I have to. And that just maintains the fact that I can button up my pants. I mean, it's not even pretty. It's just, I miss the gym. I miss yoga.
I do yoga every day.
You can do some online yoga with our yoga studio. I'll send you the information.
Can't. I have a homeschooling little one.
Oh,
I have so many, like, I'm surprised I had the nap today. Like, I have to juggle so many things. And I work out while I make meals for everyone, and then they eat, and then I can go and run up the stairs. So it's not even,
Right.
But yeah, 19, that's not good, Allison. I wouldn't handle that very well.
Yeah,
I hear you.
Yeah. It's an
interesting
walk was great.
byproduct. Say it again.
I said yesterday's walk was great.
Yeah. Where'd you go?
well, I went out to the Burbs.
My house.
Oh,
Yeah.
cool.
And yeah, we walked for over an hour, right? So
It's a 5K walk.
yeah.
Amazing.
But it's like you can stay away from people, and it's not like being in the city. And
No, it still stresses me out walking downtown here. So I have to get in my car and go somewhere,
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
which is unfortunate. Or I pace my place here while I'm on phone calls.
I'm finding it a fascinating byproduct that weight gain is part of this isolation.
Doesn't have to be.
You have to be really quite aware for it not to be, don't you? Like otherwise, just living your life sedentary or isolated.
Well, and I think people are eating their feelings,
Yes.
right?
Have you guys been meditating?
Yes.
I have. Uh-huh.
Have you
Constantly.
found it like tense or not tense, intense or normal?
Well, for me, it's gone from nothing to twice a day.
Whoa. Why are we not celebrating that, Susan? That's amazing.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
What
And
does it-
yoga
what does
once
it
a
give
day.
you? What does it give you when you do the meditation? Whatever meditation you're doing.
Well, I have a whole host. I've been logging on to the yoga studios morning 20-minute meditation, which is beautiful at 8 o'clock in the morning. So I'm still kind of lying in bed and I'm taking that all in. And it's just, it makes me present. It grounds me. It takes me, some mornings I wake up with an anxious stomach.
Really? Okay.
And so this calms me down, and yoga does the same thing. And it's all, it's all about breath. Right, Susan?
Well, yes, it is. But today we're not going to talk about the breath. We're going to
Oh
do
my
it a little
God.
bit differently.
Are we going to open, because I had you to open up with the upper fourth meditation again, but
Honestly, Allison, we got a preview of Susan's latest. It blew our minds. This is going to be a new meditation she just wrote.
okay.
No, it's not fully written. Yeah.
No, but like
I'm
you're
getting
gonna
better.
ride the wave.
Can I just say, Catherine, like a caveat? Our conversation on Friday for me, and I've worked with you guys, freaked me out a little.
Oh, I'm not gonna do that publicly.
Okay.
Did it freak you out a little?
I want to. Yeah.
Are you sure?
I would appreciate it. Yeah. Here's my analogy. You're a traveler, but you're used to going to Fort Lauderdale. And I turn to you and I say, hey girl, we're going to Southeast Asia. Make sure you have all your inoculations, get your flight. I'll meet you in Cambodia and we're going from there. And you're going, wait a minute, I'm Fort Lauderdale.
That's a good analogy.
Can we just go to Europe first, maybe? And before we hop over to Southeast Asia?
Yeah, I hear you. I hear you.
So no, we're not going vertical.
That's funny.
It's funny. You know what's funny? You know when that 3D cap was lifted and everyone was able to just embody the level they are at, whether they realize it or not, it is creating so many diverse conversation levels in my world. So many different levels of conversation. And everyone is doing great. Even if you don't think you are, you're doing great.
That's so lovely to hear, Catherine.
Is it?
Yes. What do you mean, is it?
Oh my God, you make me laugh. Is it?